Hello, everyone. It's Carmen with you here from the Roanoke International office. I'm getting a lot of questions at the beginning of the year about how to get a job on campus as an F1 student. So I just want to give you a brief outline of the process. So it may sound a little inefficient, but as an F1 student, you cannot apply for a Social Security card in advance. You have to already have a job offer for you to be able to apply. So the challenging thing with this is, let's say you find a job, you get a job offer, and then they want to know, well, how fast can you start? And you cannot start until you have a Social Security card. So it is one of those pieces of inefficiency that doesn't really work in your favor. However, I will say that most places on campus they understand this and they will work with you. And they also know that as an F1 student, the only job you're allowed to get is on campus. So if they have to wait a couple weeks, it's usually not a huge deal, but just keep that in mind. So usually what happens is you get your job offer and then you gather some documents together that you would take to the Social Security office, which is downtown Roanoke, and apply. But COVID times have changed this a little bit. So like I said, normally what you would do is you would gather your I-20, a copy of your I-94, which I can show you the link how to download that if you don't have that. Your school ID. You would also need a letter from me as your PDSO saying that you are in good standing and you are eligible to work. And now I want to check my list to make sure I didn't forget anything. Your mailing address with your mailbox number. And then there is an application, the Social Security card application that you would have to complete. So you have all these items together. And you normally would go down to the Social Security office. There's a place where you'd take a number and you'd sit, and then they would ask you a few questions, take copies of your documents, and then you just wait for them to mail it back to you. And usually they give you a receipt to say that you've applied for it. Now, during COVID times, what has happened is people can't just go down to the Social Security office and wait. They have to make appointments. And that can be challenging because a lot of people are trying to make appointments and they only have so many available for people who want to get a new Social Security card. So I have an 800 number and then there's a local number that you can call to try to get an appointment. If we have enough people that are trying to go, it may be that there's a student here on campus that'd be willing to drive you to get down there. Otherwise, of course, you could use a taxi voucher. So what else do I need to tell you about this? I think that's the basic gist of it. It's not too complicated, but it is one of those things that the timing doesn't always work out the way that you would want it to, right? To write the letter that's another thing. So to write the letter that I have to write for you, there's pieces of information I will have to have that would include like your job description, how many hours they're going to offer you, who your immediate supervisor is. But I have all that information in a piece of paper that sort of outlines this process that I will send to you or have available for you to download. But just wanted to talk to you about this because sometimes it may not make as much sense over email. Okay, so remember you can always meet with me in my signature line. I have a You Can Book Me link, and so anytime you need to talk over these things, please do that. And I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.